I've been a practicing psychiatrist for 35 years. I used to think social anxiety was this, oh yeah, so they can't be out in public, big deal. We did a study about 7 years ago of a new compound being developed for social anxiety. So we advertised in the newspaper for people with social anxiety disorder. And what I learned from that was how very ill these people are. It's not just a little deal, it's a life breaker. I mean, these folks were often so impaired that they couldn't earn a living, they couldn't function in their families, they couldn't function in their day-to-day world. And it was more than just being uncomfortable in public. These were people who almost couldn't go in public. They couldn't even sign, one guy I'll never forget, couldn't sign a check in public. Why? Because he was worried that other people were looking over his shoulder and making fun of him for the way he was signing the check. Now that was only one of his symptoms. He couldn't go in public restrooms, he couldn't eat in public, he couldn't talk in public, he couldn't talk on public telephones and the like. People with social anxiety have real distress and impairment generally, and usually have long since stopped seeking help because nothing has worked for them, and they think people are going to think I'm crazy if I tell them all this, so they just keep it to themselves and suffer for years. In our study, the average length of illness was greater than 10 years. From the time of onset of social anxiety to the time they came in for treatment was 10 years or longer.
Why does it take so long?
Because people just don't understand, and they're fearful that people are going to think they're crazy, that nobody wants to be crazy, you know. I mean, it's so stupid, and they'll tell you it's stupid. But if I do it, if I go in public, my anxiety goes through the roof. My heart's going to beat out of my chest. I can't breathe. I can't catch my breath. And I think I'm going to go nuts. And so people fear going. Or if they do go, they're misunderstood by their physicians. You know, they go and say, look, my heart's racing. It's racing so fast. They don't know it's just because I'm in public. So what do they get? Well, they get... In the old days, they would get drugs like Thorazine and Mellaril and Stelazine, these major tranquilizers. It would make them feel terrible, and they wouldn't go back.